I want to welcome you to this special service, which we call Remembering Our Own. Of course, this service is meant for you and meant for you to be in the building, to be sharing in the lighting of candles. But as we have moved over to our Code Red, we return to taping. So I ask you to get out your box of Kleenex, have a candle ready if you'd like, and just simply be with the service and take it as it comes. And I thank you for being here with us today. Okay, next slide, please.
Where two or three are gathered in my name, I am there, I am there. Where two or three are gathered in my name, I am there, I am there.
We have come to this service to remember those who we have loved, whose lives have ended. It is good to be here. We have come with our memories and our remembrances. It is good to be here. We have come to continue our remembering of those long past. It is good to be here. We have come to remember the lessons, the effects our loved ones have had on us. It is good to be here. We may cry, we will light a candle, we will sing and pray, and we will rest easy in this place of shared grief, knowing that we are not alone. Thanks be to God.
It is now time to light our Christ candle. We light this candle, this Christ candle, to symbolize the love and sacrifice that Jesus made for humankind. We remember his life, his death, and his resurrection, which is our hope. That through his light, may we bring light to ourselves and to others. Let us come and find the quiet center.
Come and find the quiet center in the crowded life we lead. Find the room for hope to enter. Find the flame where we are freed. Clear the chaos and the clutter. Clear our eyes that we can see all the things that really matter. Be at peace and simply be. Silence is a friend who claims us, cools the heat and slows the pace. God it is who speaks and names us, knows our being face to face, making space within our thinking, lifting shades to show the sun, raising courage when we're shrinking, finding scope for faith begun. In the Spirit, let us travel, open to each other's pain. Let our loves and fears unravel. we gain. There's a place for deepest dreaming, there's a time for heart to care. In the Spirit's lively scheming, there is always room to spare.
Let us pray. Loving God, may we feel your presence with us during this service and in the days ahead, as we take the time to remember those whom we have loved and have died. We acknowledge that life moves forward, the clock does not stop. Too often we have been forced to move ahead when we were not quite ready. We pray for continued strength and courage as we continue the journey of grief with you and with others. We give thanks for this time to just be held in you. In the name of Jesus, we pray. Amen. I'm going to read you Death is Only an Horizon, written by Bede Jarrett from a prayer by William Penn. We give them back to you, O Lord, who first came to us. As you did not lose them in the giving, so we do not lose them in the return. Not as the world gives, do you give, O lover of souls. For what is yours is ours also, if we belong to you. Life is unending, as love is undying, and as the boundaries of this life are but an horizon, and an horizon is but the limit of our vision, lift us up, living God, that we can see farther. Strengthen our faith that we may see beyond the horizon. And while you prepare a place for us, as you have promised, prepare us also for that happy place, that where you are, we may be also. Here ends our first reading. I'm now going to read to you Gone Only from Our Sight. It's written by Colonel Marcus. Gone only from our sight. I am standing on the seashore. Suddenly a ship at my side spread her white sails to the morning breeze and starts out for the blue ocean. She is an object of beauty and strength. And I stand and watch her until at length she is only a ribbon of white cloud, just above where sea and sky mingle with each other. And then someone at my side says, "There, she's gone." Gone where? Gone from my sight, that is all. For she's just as large in mast and hull and spar as she was when she left my side, and just as able to bear her load of living freight to the place of destination. Her diminished size is in me, not in her, and just as that moment when someone at my side says, "There she's gone," there are other voices on the far and distant shore ready to take up the glad shout, "Look, she has arrived." Here ends our second reading. Jesus, you have come to the lake shore. Let us sing it together.
Jesus, you have come to the lake shore, looking neither for wealthy nor wise ones. You only ask me to follow humbly. Oh, Jesus, with your eyes you have searched me, and while smiling have spoken my name. Now my boat's left on the shoreline behind me. By your side I will seek other seas. You know so well my possessions. My boat carries no gold and no weapons. You will find there my nets and labor. Oh, Jesus, with your eyes you have searched me, and while smiling have spoken my name. Now my boat's left on the shoreline behind me. By your side I will seek other seas. You need my handful of caring through my labors to give others rest, and constant love that keeps on loving. Oh, Jesus, with your eyes you have searched me, and while smiling have spoken my name. Now my boat's left on the shoreline behind me. By your side I will seek other seas. You who have fished other oceans, ever longed for by souls who are waiting, my loving friend, as thus you call me. Oh, Jesus, with your eyes you have searched me, and while smiling have spoken my name. Now my boat's left on the shoreline behind me. By your side I will seek other seas.
In this next portion, I'll be reading 3 different readings: To Lose a Child, Missing You on the Death of a Sibling, and The Cost. To Lose a Child by Marilyn Shaw. Grief is the loneliest of all human experiences. Losing a child is the hardest thing in life to bear. There is no antidote, no cure, no end. No one has any answers. It's a long, hard battle, but there are no enemies. It is a long and winding path, but there are no signs to guide you. It is an overbearing weight, but no one can see the burden that you carry in your heart. It is an unimaginable anguish. No one else sees or perceives the half of it. It is the most sad of all sad deaths, but the world has enough sadness of her own. It is the end of your world, but you have to go on living. On the death of a sibling, missing you. We're missing you a little more each time we hear your name. We've cried so many tears, yet our hearts are broken just the same. We miss our time together, things in common we could share, but nothing fills the emptiness. Now you're no longer there. We've many precious memories to last our whole life through, each one of them reminders of how much we are missing you. The cost. Death is not too high a price to pay for having lived. Mountains never die, nor do the sea or rocks or endless sky. Through endless centuries of time, they stay, eternal, deathless, yet they never live. If choice there were, I would not hesitate to choose mortality. Whatever fate demanded in return for life, I'd give it. For never to have seen the fertile plains, nor heard the winds, nor felt the warm sun or sand beside the salty sea, nor touched the hands of those I love. Without these, all the gains of timelessness would not be worth one day of living and loving, come what may. Dorothy Monroe. I'm going to share with you now some words of scripture from John chapter 14. John chapter 14, and I'm just going to read the first 4 verses. Do not let your hearts be troubled. Believe in God, believe also in me. In my Father's house there are many dwelling places. If it were not so, would I have told you that I go to prepare a place for you? And if I go and prepare a place for you, I will come again and will take you to myself, so that where I am, there you may be also. Hope. We often hear these words from John 14 spoken at a funeral service, and we find hope in these words because we like the thought that there is a place prepared for us. When we have suffered the death of a loved one, our grief is heavy and we don't often see hope in anything. Words from others can seem empty and hollow because we feel empty and hollow. For people of faith, the hope comes in the belief that while life ends here, there is another place, the next place with God. Jesus tells us, do not let your hearts be troubled. Believe in God, believe also in me. My Father's house has many rooms. If that were not so, would I have told you that I go to prepare a place there for you? And if I go to prepare a place for you, I will come back and take you to be with me, that you also may be where I am. In our despair, we find hope that Jesus told us not to fear, to believe that God has a place prepared for us in a house that has many rooms. The image of an eternal home where there is no pain or suffering sits well with us because we want that for our loved one, especially if their life had pain and suffering in it. We want that relief. Somehow, in knowing our loved ones have found relief, our own journey of relief can begin as well. Hope allows us to look up, to look out, and to look beyond. Come touch our hearts.
Come touch our hearts that we may know compassion. From failing embers build a blazing fire. Love strong enough to overturn injustice, to seek a world more gracious. Come touch and bless our hearts. Come touch our souls that we may know and love you. Your quiet presence all our fears dispel. Create a space for spirit to grow in us. Let life and beauty fill us. Come touch and bless our souls. Come touch our minds and teach us how to reason. Set free our thoughts to wonder and to dream. Help us to open doors of understanding, to welcome truth and wisdom. Come touch and bless our minds. Come touch us in the moments we are fragile, and in our weakness your great strength reveal, that we may rise to follow and to serve, steady now on earth. Come touch and bless our wills. Come touch us now, this people who are gathered, to break the bread and share the cup of peace, that we may love you with our heart, our soul, our mind, our strength, our all. Come touch us with your grace.
We will remember them. In the rising of the sun and its going down, we remember them. In the blowing of the wind and in the chill of winter, we remember them. In the opening of buds and in the rebirth of spring, we remember them. In the rustling of leaves and in the beauty of autumn, we remember them. In the beginning of the year and when it ends, we remember them. When we are weary and in need of strength, we remember them. When we have joys we yearn to share, we remember them. So long as we live, they too shall live, for they are a part of us as we remember them. I'm going to ask you to remember a person or persons now. I'm going to name some names of people from our congregation that we have lost in the last year or two. So a moment for you first to think of someone that you're missing this day. Mike, Evelyn, Shirley, Alice, Amy, Lorraine, Faye, Doreen, Eleanor, Dawn, Pat, Eleanor, Brad, Ada, Marie, Kirsten, Cam, Jean, Joyce, Helen. On eagle's wings.
And I will raise you up on eagle's wings, bear you on the breath of dawn, make you to shine like the sun, and hold you in the palm of my hand.
We think of our veterans now as I read In Flanders Fields by John McCrae. In Flanders fields, the poppies blow between the crosses, row on row, that mark the place, and in the sky the larks, still bravely singing, fly scarce heard amid the guns below. We are the dead. Short days ago we lived, felt the dawn, saw the sunset glow, loved and were loved. And now we lie in Flanders fields. Take up our quarrel with the foe. To you from failing hands we throw the torch. Be yours to hold it high. If ye break faith with us who die, we shall not sleep, though poppies grow in Flanders fields. Blessed be the tie that binds.
Blessed be the tie that binds our hearts in Christian love, the unity of heart and mind is like to that above. Before our Maker's throne we pour our ardent prayers, our fears, our hopes, our aims are one, our comforts and our cares. We share each other's woes, each other's burdens bear, and oft for each other flows the sympathizing tear. This glorious hope revives our courage on the way, that we eternal day.
We are now moving into the ritual candlelighting portion of the service. I will light a candle for you. I will light a candle for you to shatter all the darkness and bless the times we knew. Like a beacon in the night, the flame will burn bright and guide us on our way. Today, I will light a candle for you. The seasons come and go, and I'm weary from the change. I keep on moving on. You know, it's not the same. And when I am walking all alone, do you hear me call your name? Do you hear me sing the songs we used to sing? You filled my life with wonder, touched me with surprise, always saw that something special deep within your eyes. And through the good times and the bad, we carried on with pride. I will hold unto the love and life we knew. I will light a candle for you. So if you are here, this is the time that you would be coming forward and absolutely filling our table with candles. But for today, we must do it this way. We light a candle in memory of those who gave us life and those who nurtured our life, our birth mothers and fathers, our grandparents, our foster parents, and adoptive parents. We light a candle in memory of those who enriched our family life, our brothers, our sisters, our aunts and uncles and cousins.
We light a candle in memory of those we were privileged to give life to, children who have gone before us and grandchildren, those who died before birth, and those who died before they should have. We light a candle in memory of those whose love enriched and gifted our lives in a special way, our wives and husbands and our fiancés. We light a candle in memory of those who journeyed with us in a very special way, those who shared with us during our youth and our adulthood. Friends, teachers, mentors, neighbors. We light a candle for those
We light a candle for those men and women who have served and fallen in defense of the sovereignty of the nations, the dignity of all people, and the right to be free from domination and oppression. the light of remembrance shines before all here in this gathering. Those hearts that we have treasured.
Those hearts that we have treasured, those lives that we have shared, those loves that walk beside us, those friends for whom we've cared, their blessing rest upon us, their life is memory, their suffering is over, their spirits are set free. They still give hope and comfort. They did not lose the fight. They showed us truth and goodness. They shine into our night. Remember days of gladness. Remember times of joy. Remember all the moments that grief cannot destroy. From hearts that we have treasured, from lives that we have shared, from loves that walk beside us, from friends for whom we've cared. We've learned to treasure kindness. We've learned that grace provides. We've learned to be together. We've learned that love abides.
God of the living and God of those who have died, we come before you with thankfulness today. We thank you for all those lives we remember here today. We give thanks for the joy, the tough times and struggles we have endured. We are thankful for all of the good memories that invite us to smiles and laughter. We acknowledge the broken dreams and the suffering we have endured. We bring before you all whom we miss. God of the living and God of those who have died, in life and death we are yours. Your love will never leave. In the name of Jesus, we continue in prayer, saying, Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory, forever and ever. Amen. Let us sing a song of gratitude for all the offerings that have been presented recently.
In gratitude and humble trust, we bring our best today to serve your cause and share your love with all along life's way. O God, who gave yourself to us in Jesus Christ, your Son, teach us to give ourselves each day until life's work is done.
We give our thanks for all the people we've remembered this day. And we come before you, God, with these gifts which come from our hands and our hearts. They represent the products of our labors. They symbolize our commitment to your church. They show our willingness to do your will on earth. Bless us as we dedicate these gifts to the service of others. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
I'm going to share with you now from a beautiful book, and it's called The Next Place. There we go. I want to give special thanks to Mary from the office for all of the hard work she did in creating this service. Now we can move on to the next slide, and the next slide, and then the next. There we go. The next place that I go will be peaceful and familiar as a sleepy summer Sunday and a sweet, untroubled mind. And yet, it won't be anything like any place I've ever been, or seen, or even dreamed of in the place I leave behind. I won't know where I'm going, and I won't know where I've been, and look back toward, as I tumble through the always and look back toward the when. I'll glide beyond the rainbows, I'll drift above the sky, I'll fly into the wonder without ever wondering why. I won't remember getting there. Somehow I'll just arrive. But I know that I belong there and will feel much more alive than I ever felt before. I will be absolutely free of the things that I held on to, that were holding on to me. The next place that I go will be so quiet and so still that the whispered song of sweet belonging will rise up to fill the listening sky with joyful silence and with unheard harmonies of music made by no one playing, like a hush upon a breeze. There will be no room for darkness in that place of living light, where an everlasting morning pushes back the dying night. The very air will fill with brilliance as the brightly shining sun, and the moon and 500,000 stars are married into one. The next place that I go won't really be a place at all. There won't be any seasons, winter, summer, spring, or fall, nor a Monday or a Friday, nor December, nor July. And the seconds will be standing still while hours hurry by. I will not be a boy or a girl or a woman or a man. I'll simply just be, no worse or better than. My skin will not be dark or light. I won't be fat or tall. The body I once lived in won't be part of me at all. I will finally be perfect. I will be without a flaw. I will never make one more mistake or break the smallest law. And the me that was impatient or was angry or unkind will simply be a memory, the me I left behind. I will travel empty-handed. There's not a single thing I've collected in my life that I would ever want to bring, except the love of those who loved me and the warmth of those who cared, the happiness and memories and magic that we shared. Though I will know the joy of solitude, I will never be alone. I will be embraced by all the family and friends I've ever known. Although I might not see their faces, all our hearts will beat as one, and the circle of our spirits will shine brighter than the sun. I will cherish all the friendship I was fortunate to find, all the love and all the laughter in the place I leave behind. All these good things will go with me. They will make my spirit glow, and that light will shine forever in the next place that I go. The next place. Some of you know the Serenity Prayer and say it often. For some, it's something new. I share this with you now as we come to a conclusion of our service. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Living one day at a time, enjoying one moment at a time, accepting hardship as a pathway to peace, taking, as Jesus did, this sinful world as it is, not as I would have it, trusting that you will make all things right if I surrender to your will, so that I may be reasonably happy in this life and supremely happy with you forever in the next. Amen. We gather here to bid farewell.
We gather here to bid farewell to friends who leave for other parts. Our prayers we pledge, our love we tell, and life to God, our grateful hearts. We bless the hand that brought you here and richly blessed us all in you. As now you leave a wider sphere, God's covenant mercies we renew. In friendship's bonds our souls unite, in prayer and praise and holy vow. To God's great heart of love and light, your friends in Christ commit you now. God guide you, keep you, lead you on, from hope to hope, from strength to strength, until in God's all glorious dawn we meet before the throne at length. Amen.
These words of blessing. May we look backwards with gratitude, forward with courage, and upwards with confidence. The blessing of God, Creator, Redeemer, and Sustainer, be with you all this day and forevermore. Amen.
Amen.